bless me with the heart of a lion and a warrior soul. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them. Tell them no retreat, no surrender. I shall fight till the end of days. I was born as a Makai warrior, and the Almighty God my blade. Fire burn all Satan carrier. Father loose all shackles and chain. This morning first thing as I wake up, King David turn Sam to the brain. Don't let your courage go down, keep it up. And if your heart rip up and stitch it up, don't let your faith them fall, pick it up. When my cup was empty, God fill it up. Don't take the devil contract, rip it up. And if your bad mind people to go meet it up, pass me the Congo drum and let me beat it up. God on my side, me no give it up. So no weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. Cause I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them. Thank you, Father. I want to say thank you, Lord. You are everything, Father. Thank you. Father, you alone shall guide me. No man shall lead my path. In the wind I hear your quiet whispers, and you heal my broken heart. Even some of my friends turn enemies, and they pray for right to feel. And remember you gave us your only begotten son, but we gave him the wound of lies. Send down your warriors with the hello, they carry down to the end of days. No matter how the devil try trick me, unto you my soul I will give. Father, I know this time is coming. I can see the high tide raise. Without you there is no other. Could it be that we decide? No weapon that form against I shall not prevail. And no man that rise against I, that war they shall never win. Because I will conquer, oh I will conquer, yes I will conquer them. Come on, let's conquer, oh I will conquer, rise up and conquer them. I am a man, I am a champion, I am a warrior. So who are you to tell me that I cannot make? Who are you to tell me that I am not the greatest thing that God ever created?
Good morning, Grenada, Carriacou, and PT Martinique. You are listening to Hard Talk Grenada. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on the various radio stations, 97.5 CitysoundFM, 89.5 CRFM, 91.9 and 91.5 RealFM Radio, 92.9 Sister Route Radio broadcasting from Hillsborough, Carriacou, and of course 94.9 We Noise Radio out there in Brooklyn, New York, for those of you tuning in from the diaspora. A very special good morning to those of you joining us on the various live streams, whether you're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, wherever you are joining us from. A very special good morning to you. It is a beautiful Monday morning, the second week of June. And of course, we are always, as we say here every morning, very happy to be here, very happy to be alive, very happy to breathe that breath of fresh air. And with me in studio this morning, I have my co-host, Mr. Roland Bola. Good morning, Mr. Bola.
Very, very pleasant good morning to you, Miss Duncan. It appears as though it's quite a few days I haven't seen you. I know the weekend was 2 days, but it appears as though it's much longer than that.
I know,
you
right?
look very, very beautiful this morning. You're normally beautiful, but you have a special glow this morning. Don't blush. Just accept what I'm telling you. Good morning to all our listeners out there. Every single one of you are beautiful in your own way. Thank God that we have another week that we can start celebrating. It's the first working day for most of us It's Monday. There are others who have started yesterday. There are some people who have done the shift last night, yesterday, the day before that, because it depends on what you do. And there are some people who work all along. Yeah. There are those who don't work all the time but make money all the time. Quite interestingly. Grenada, Carriacou, Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, the diaspora, wherever you are, by whatever means you're listening, we're happy to be with you again. It's another day when we will be bringing you some hard topics, hard talk. The weekend was a good one, Miss Duncan, for me. We got some rain.
Yes, and the farmer in you just loved that.
Love that, But it was also yesterday and today, for those of us who follow there's a planting calendar. Right. It's called the McDonald's Almanac. These days you get it online as well. Both yesterday and today are very good days for planting what is called tubers, underground food. So you have your tanias, you have your dasheen, yams, sweet potatoes, edos, even carrots, beets. Those sort of foods that will be underground. They were very good days for planting. So I got the opportunity to plant a little bit of potatoes yesterday, as per usual. I always want to make use of the good weather condition, but also the moon. It's what I do. I love farming. So for the farmers out there or those who have a little farming in you, if you didn't get through yesterday, you still have the rest of today to plant a couple pieces of potato, or you have a couple of yam heads that lying somewhere around the house, in the kitchen, in a little bucket. You had used the yam and those pieces that you felt weren't good enough for consumption but can plant. Get someone, if you can't do it yourself, fuck up a little area, make a kind of embankment, a bed, like put your yams into it, cover it with some humus or compost or whatever you. Put a 2 sticks so that the yam rope can run up, and there you go. You have a 2 dashing plants. Put it in the ground. Tanias or so. It's cassava, which is one I didn't talk about. It's also underground. So all the underground food. Today is a very good day, yesterday and today. And then you would have to look up again to see when the moon is good. Some people say once you plant it 3 days after the full moon. So you have the full moon, you let 3 days pass. They say you can plant underground because the moon is going down. It's something that I can't explain, but it has something to do with how the universe works. And our foreparents work very well with it. Yes. And while generally that is the trend, that when the moon is getting dark, it's getting smaller, it's best for underground food. There are just some days, specific days, that are really excellent for planting underground, for planting over the ground, for planting vine crops, different things, different times. So, if you did something over the weekend, very good. On Thursday last was a holiday. It was what is called Corpus Christi. It's normally a planting day for some people. While from my own view, it was not the best moon for planting, either underground or above ground. But I guess quite a number of Grenadians in the traditional way used it for planting their little corn and peas. And that's a time when a lot of people, Corpus Christi, Whit Monday, those kind of days, people think it's good for planting our corn and peas, traditional kind of peasantry farming. But, what is important is that we are here, and there are a number of things that we have to do to remain here in a safe, secured, and healthy way. Absolutely.
Absolutely. It was an interesting weekend, Mr. Bola, because we had a few things happening. One of the most important things, I think, for us was the receipt of that new generator for Grenlec.
It came in on Saturday, I think.
Came in on Saturday, but I think they moved it on Sunday.
Oh, Sunday's when they moved it.
On Sunday they moved it. Okay. I guess the rain and so on restricted that movement because, and funny enough, we look at things in a very simple way. I saw they were using a truckless trailer to carry it. And I think that's the first time I've ever seen something like that. A truckless trailer.
A truckless trailer.
Yes, it was actually a trailer that was being manned by, I guess, a guy with a joystick.
sort of
or
remote
control kind of trailer.
But that's where we're moving into.
Yes,
that's where the world.
It was very fascinating to look at.
Is moving. I don't want to take away from that discussion, because I think it's important. It's important from several standpoints, in that after the repurchasing of the WIB shares, some sort of scare tactics came around from what the utterances from some people.
Right.
Fear was built in the minds of some of the Grenadian consumers of Grenlec power, that there's a strong possibility we'd start seeing a lot of blackouts, now that government has moved in, and the inability of government to manage things well. I think this is an answer to all of those queries, because I remember the government then saying, from the time they repurchase, the purpose why they repurchase, and we don't have to rehash that, because of the bad deal that was made
initially.
Initially, when in '94, I think it was, when the 50% shares were sold to WIB, the repurchasing agreement that the government signed on to. And the compulsory buyback and all of those things, which were explained in details, and maybe at some later date, maybe people would have to be, their minds would have to be refreshed with the details. But interestingly, since then, the government did announce that at the time of repurchasing the WIB shares, that the generators that were in place were bad. Right. They were in a state of disrepair. Some of them,
actually, they were renting. Generators.
They were in a state of disrepair. There were those that has made their lifetime, because these engines, when built, they have a certain lifespan. And when they make that lifespan, you have to take them down. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, that sometimes the manufacturers will take them back and will rebuild from the block. They will take the block, do whatever they have to do, and rebuild a completely new engine. But the moving parts, the working parts within the engine, within the generator, has a certain lifespan. And there were 2 or so of those generators that had made their lifetime. And as a result, the company then were renting generators to generate energy first. So they always knew that they had to bring in. That is now, well, it's not a done deal totally, because I guess all of the in-house work has to be done in terms of setting up and hooking up and wiring and doing the testing, going through the testing phase and making sure that it can generate now. And I understand it's a pretty large one that can generate far more megawatts than what the previous ones they had were doing. But it's also interesting to note that while that was a necessity and pretty costly. It's quite a few $1 million. $16 million, pretty costly. I know that the government is, at the moment as we speak and prior to this conversation on air, been working with IRENA, the International Renewable Energy Agency or something. Maybe my my interpretation of the acronym may not be as correct as it should be, but it is something in the region. I know they're working together in that that agency is prepared to provide grant funding to government for the purposes of setting up a solar farm. I know that teams from the Ministry of Agriculture, from the Ministry of Energy and so combined, had been out looking for suitable sites where they can have that solar farm. And for the layman, what a solar farm means is that they're going to have an area of 5 or 10 acres, more if they can get it, that is quite suitable, getting at least 7 to 8 hours, or probably 9 if they can, of sunlight when the sun is out every day, because you won't get sunlight if it's cloudy and it's raining. But when you have good sunlight, almost the entire day, from sunrise to sunset, can be hitting that area. And in that area, they will put now a whole set of solar panels and the sun being able to heat on against them will generate a certain amount of energy, which is going to be sent to the national grid. I think from what I've heard, the plant that they're trying to do, the solar plant should generate between 10 or 20 megawatts, and that's quite a huge amount, maybe just less than a quarter of what we consume on a daily basis. And I'm saying that to say that while yes, WIB is no longer in the mix, many things are happening behind the scenes, and eventually these would all trickle down into better rates, I believe, more consistency and cleaner energy generation for our nation, which is the way we want to go, bearing in mind the whole issue of global warming and the climate change and the contribution that fossil fuel,
is making to that.
It's contributing. As a matter of fact, when a study was done in Grenada, the two largest contributors to greenhouse gases, helping to deplete the ozone layer and aiding in global warming, the two greatest contributors to that in our island was the generators that generate electricity or power at Grenlec and the number of vehicles that we have. Yes? So if we can, as a country, as a nation, and as a power station, be it majority owned by government or by the citizens of Grenada or a private sector individual, it doesn't matter, whoever it is, if we can move quickly and seriously into more what is referred to as renewable energy, so meaning solar power, the sun, wind energy with the wind turbines. You have wave energy, where there's the technology that can utilize the power and the energy from the waves in the sea, to generate energy. You have geothermal, which is the heat that is trapped in the earth, the energy there, and which I know is being worked on. Studies were done before, somewhere up to the Mount St. Catherine side. There is large deposits of geothermal. The government of New Zealand, and I think it's the government of Japan, they are working in conjunction with our local authorities to develop those areas. And if we can generate a certain number of megawatts from geothermal, that again is going to reduce our dependency on having to use the engines and the fossil fuel as we are doing now. Yes?
Okay. I think we have a caller on the line, Mr. Bolas. So let's take that first call for the morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi,
I'm
good
just
morning.
calling to find out if someone wants to come to Grenada and they have to do the 2 days quarantine, what is the requirement to do?
Well, one of two things can happen, because recently an announcement was made that if the person wants to home quarantine, so they're fully vaccinated, right? We're speaking about a fully vaccinated person.
Yeah, that's the first criteria.
If they are fully vaccinated and they want to home quarantine, they can do so if the apartment that they are staying in or the household that they are staying in has individuals living in it. They must either, two things must happen. There must be no children in that household, and the persons in the household must also be fully vaccinated and willing to spend that 2 days in quarantine with that individual. So yes, they can home quarantine, but then there's also the continuous option of getting a government approved quarantine facility
they're
and
talking
stay
about
there.
government approved quarantine for, I know they can spend 2 days.
Right.
But so they want the home quarantine. They want to stay because it's about a group of them that come in, about 7 of them.
So what they can do when you go to the government website, I think it's mgov.gd, and you pull up the COVID-19 protocols, it gives you a list of all of the approved government quarantine facilities that you can select from, and then make your necessary arrangements to have that information, because you have to have those quarantine details paid for and so on when you fill out that authorization form.
Okay.
So they still have to do the authorization form. That is still a must. They must still have their COVID-19 test that was done 72 hours before travel. All of that information must be procured first before doing the authorization form, because you're going to need that information to do the form.
Okay. So when I put down, you will say the website for me again. But one more question I want to ask you. When they reach in Grenada, they need to get a PCR test going back?
Yes.
Once
you have to travel, whether you're coming in or you're going out, you have to do. Because any country you're going into, they require a PCR test at least not more than 72 hours before you travel.
Okay, so where do they go to get that PCR test?
They can go to, I believe, St. Augustine does PCR testing. The Ministry of Health also does at the General Hospital Lab. They can go get their testing done there. And I want to believe that...
there's a gym somewhere in Grandance.
Right. Is it Body Image?
I'm not sure which one. The name is... It could be Body Image. And this one, you get it within a couple of hours.
Within a couple hours, yeah.
And it's an authorized
probably
place.
Is Body Image.
You can call them just to inquire.
The person will be located in Grandance.
Yes.
Where they'll be staying in Carriacou. They could get the PCR test in Carriacou done too.
Yes.
But they want to come down before, like the Wednesday before, but they want to do the PCR test in Grenada.
Okay.
But the other people might remain there until about Friday. So they want to know if they can do it in Carriacou,
Okay, yeah. Yeah, they can do it at
in
the
Carriacou.
hospital in Carriacou.
They will have to contact the hospital and make sure, and they give them all the details. Yes.
Okay.
So while they're in Carriacou, they contact the hospital in Carriacou. They'd give them the time when they have to leave and everything. So they will tell them which day is best for them to come to get it done.
So I could even contact Body Image to find out if they
just find out, yes. But I know there is a gym in Grandance that is authorized where they do the PCR test. It may well be Body Image, but
so I will contact them to find out.
Yes.
Find out. Okay.
Yes.
So when I put on, you repeat it, but
the website.
Take your time. I could get it. Thank you very much, and keep up the good work.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Okay, bye.
Yes. So, and I know we've been getting a few questions regarding the quarantine protocols as it stands now and so on. So the website to go to would be it's a capital M, capital G, OV.GD. That is the Government of Grenada website where you can go and get your COVID-19 protocols, the authorization form, among a lot of other things. Mr. Bola, I went on the website the other day, and it was
populated with a lot of information.
It was magnificent. You can apply for a birth paper, marriage license. You can pay for taxes.
Did you apply for yours?
For one, my birth paper.
No, your marriage license. That's what I'm talking about.
I know that's where you're going.
Repeat it again for the individual or for others who may want to just write it down. So
right. So it's M, capital G, OV.GD, mgov.gd. And that is the Government of Grenada's website where you can go and do a multiplicity of things or get a multiplicity of information as well. Right? But Mr. Bola, we're going back to Grenada because I wanted us to also highlight that on what day was it? What day was the 4th of June? 4th of June was Wednesday?
Somewhere thereabouts.
Friday. You will send me. Friday.
No, I don't have a calendar in front of me, so
Friday. On Friday, the Prime Minister, along with the Minister for Finance and also Public Utilities, which is Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox, met with workers of Grenada. Of course, they said it was a historical event because that has never been done in, his 36 years being in politics. And of course, that is attributed, of course, to the fact that Grenada was privately owned for most of that time. And in that, a lot of information. They had a lot of one-on-one sessions, talking with them, speaking, finding out what their issues were, their concerns were, and so on. And one of the concerns, of course, that they had was that of having their salaries and jobs affected by this new transition, and of course the possibility of us going into renewable energy, because we know that there are forces out there that choose, and I say choose because it's definitely a choice, that choose to turn everything into a negative situation, that choose to dig up and cook up and stir up all sorts of negativity. And that was one of the stories going out there when we heard about the imminent repurchasing of by government of Grenada and so on, that these persons' salaries...
Repurchasing of the WRB shares.
WRB shares. And of course that their salaries would be affected and so on. And that was... And you know, when you talk money, people get sensitive. And I believe that was a ploy to get them to speak up against that decision, you know, to put a little fear in them so that they would say, hey, we didn't want all it to do that, you know, and make a little bit more noise with them. But of course, the Prime Minister reassured them that is false. You know, that is not a case. And I mean, once we start diversifying our electricity sector, not only are we going to see lower rates, but we are going to also see that there will be more opportunities for others to get employed, you know. There's more opportunity for other people to get employed in that sector as well. So it's not just a good economic decision for government, you know, but it's also a great way of creating or generating employment for the people of Grenada. You know, it's not only going to help with fixing our contributions to carbon emissions, but it would also give us Grenadians an opportunity to see what it's like to own a piece of asset like that, you know, because it's Grenadian assets, you know, and I don't think people understand that when or if the new National Party is out of the administration, Grenada remains a state-owned asset. It still belongs to us, the people of Grenada.
Well, being state-owned or partially state-owned, because you have other private sector individuals who do have shares in it, it's good. But the government had signaled very early in the day after the repurchasing that it is not government's intention. Government does not have an intent to hold on to all of the shares that they now own in the company, which would be the majority, because having repurchased from WRB, I think it was about 61 or 62%.
Right. And
government had before that, I think, about a 20% or so share before. So now they are majority by far. What I know the intention was, or the announcement that was made, is that they will soon divest some of the shares that they have.
Right.
I don't think government is going to sell all of what they have in the company, but they definitely do not intend, from the utterances and from the announcements made, to hold on to all of the shares that they presently now hold on to, now have or own. There was some discussion, even at the parliamentary level. I know at the Senate it was discussed, and there was a suggestion by the Senator for Business, Senator Diali, that he think it will be in the interests of government and, of course, the Grenadian public to mark a certain percentage of the shares that they want to divest for youthful people. I think he did even put an age group, 21 and on or so. Maybe some of these people don't have the money, but their parents may have the money.
Right.
But they can make an investment into the company in their child's name or children's name. Yes?
Right.
Which I thought was an excellent idea, and I know it was brought even beyond the Senate, and there was some discussions held. And in my opinion, the powers that be, in quotation mark, I think they took a liking to the idea. So we can soon see when the prospectus and so are prepared because a number of things had to happen, and maybe they're already in train because not too long ago was the AGM, the annual general meeting, and and then a new board, as far as we know, has been put in place, and and I believe now that new board will be tasked with the responsibility of advising the government. Because the government doesn't want to be front and center in the operations of the company. So the board plus the management team will meet, will if need be, and they would have to probably hire someone from outside as an accountant or whatever to help them valuate shares and do all of those things to understand what a share will be sold for and how much of the shares government will want to sell. I know there were two schools of thought. One, that a certain percentage, whether it's 5%, 10% of the shares to be sold, be set aside specifically for the youthful population. Some people felt that we should put aside a block of shares as well for Grenadians in the diaspora, those who are in England or Canada or the US, bona fide Grenadians and who may want to invest in Grenada, and we should be happy if they want to do that. So we should create the opportunity for them by saying, hey, well, there's 10% of these shares here, and I don't want any listener to think that is what the government is saying. I'm just throwing out a number of 5%, whatever the amount is, and that is specified for people living, working, residing in the diaspora, so you too can have say in a national asset. Yes, so all of those things are still to be worked out. But I am happy to see that at least the actions has been taken that in some way will prevent or avert what some people was hoping to happen. I mean, I've heard some announcers on radio and television during the time that happened was up in arms, that government had absolutely no right to. They should have never. I mean, I think this thing was explained so well, and the facts was being brought forward as to why it was necessary that we get rid of. That, well, not so much, maybe get rid of is not the proper way in which to put it, but to
that we make that change.
Make the change, repurchase, and it was inevitable. You had to, because the buyback clause, or repurchasing clause, demanded that if any change, anything happens, anything that will affect the profit margin of WIB, they can enforce the repurchasing clause. And once they do that, it means that the government had to buy it, save and except government had another organization or some private sector individual who had the millions and was willing to put it forward to become the major shareholder. So there you have it, and I want to say kudos to the government first and foremost, but also to the management and staff of the company, because I believe they would have done a tremendous amount of work to keep the company functional, even when they were reliant on rental generators, and would have done the work in an efficient and effective manner to bring the company to the point where they now was able to purchase another generator, which is a huge one. And my understanding is that these sort of generators, you sometimes have to order them because they build them to specification.
The specification.
They may have 2 or 3 built and just sitting there. But generally, it's not like cars. You don't have an assembly line where they just produce and stock it up, and when the dealers call, they can sell. These engines, as far as I understand, you would have to say to the company, we need an engine of what size, of what capacity to generate how much megawatts, and they will build it to your specification, your size, your generating capacity, and what have you. And it can take anything between 6 months and 1 year to build a complete engine. The one purchase, I think, is one that was there because the bed at the company where it has the feet on, they have to do some extension to that bed, this concrete, sort of concrete block where you bolt it, because these are heavy engines and very powerful and gives a lot of vibration. So it has to be properly secured by bolting it down into concrete slabs.
Yeah.
So I understand that the one that is there, the old or dilapidated, whatever you want to call it, generator that they're moving out. That one is much larger than it, so they have to do some extension to the bed in which it has to sit on. Yes, but it was necessary to avoid the possibility of blackout, and so it was necessary to purchase
that,
even though it is far bigger. And so
it's a wonderful opportunity for us. It's a really big milestone for us, and it's going to mean a lot. Maybe not for us looking at it now, but for the generations to come, for our children and our children's children will definitely reap the benefits of this decision, because it really was a great one. You know, people are saying, oh, well, the only reason the decision was made was because they were forced to, or whatever it may be. The fact of the matter is, it was a long coming, and it needed to be done. It needed to be done. So now we have a state-owned facility, a state-owned asset, back into the hands of Grenadians. You know, how can you vex with that?
Well, you could. If you don't want to see Grenadians moving forward, if you feel by the government doing what they did, and you are an opponent of this, you are opposed to the government, you believe that is going to give greater credibility to the government,
then
and it's going to have, of course, because you as an opponent would not want to see the government do anything that is positive.
Right.
Your hope, wishes, and wishes would be that the government always make mistakes and do things that are going to cause people to criticize and to, get angry with them. So whenever good things are being done, sensible things that are going to be beneficial to the people of the country, you are going to want to discredit it as much as it's possible. So to ask how can people be vexed is I mean, it's simply explained,
Absolutely. Guys, we're going to open the lines at this time. The number to call is 440-7377. If you are calling from the diaspora, you can call 347-329-3101. You can also send us a message on WhatsApp, or give us a call on WhatsApp as well at 440-7377. Also, you can also continue commenting on the live video. Of course, we love hearing from you, and we like it when you guys are involved in the conversation. And of course, it's Monday. It's Monday, so let's set the tone for the week. Tell us what's on your mind. Tell us what you've been hearing, what clarifications you may need. As we say, we are not the repository of all information, but we try our best, Mr. Bola, don't we?
Well, I know I do, and I think from when I listen to you, you're trying well, So, we're here to assist in bringing credible information and that in.
I heard something very interesting couple days ago, during the course of last week. The Government Information Service was doing an interview with NIS. With NIS. And I'm putting it out there now because I'm hoping to get an interview, Mr. Bola. I want it bad. I'm hoping to get an interview with a representative from the NIS. We know how contentious opposition forces
let me just stop you. Opposition
Yes.
forces make it. I thought you were going to say contentious is the relationship.
No. How contentious the opposition forces make these things. And I think what they're talking about is a marvelous achievement, Mr. Bola. And I'll give some further details on what it is, but we want to take this call quickly. Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, Miss Duncan. How are you doing?
Good morning, Mr. Mills. I am fine.
Mr. Bola.
How are you, my dear friend?
I'm good, like cook food.
Yes, well, you go get eaten?
Eaten? No, that food I go to eat now.
And to get eaten, you won't get beaten?
No, that food is just to digest.
Oh, you just have to digest it?
Yeah.
So you like chocolate? You just put it on the tongue and it melts.
No, you have white cornmeal porridge.
Where do you get these things that you say? Oh my
Yeah,
God.
you have white cornmeal porridge.
Of course I do. I eat cuckoo as well, not only cornmeal porridge.
You making people give me fatigue, you know.
Are you making people give you that?
Fatigue.
Why?
Mr. You're telling Mr. Bola what's coming up, and you only telling me yes, he coming.
Hey, tell these people don't get involved in our business. Mr. Bola will come to Carriacou.
I wish they're listening, they're forward too much.
No, I ain't saying they're forward. They're just interested in our business.
Yeah, they're interested.
Yeah, no, you see, there's a difference between people who forward and people who have interest. They want to look after my own well-being and yours. Yeah. So that's why they're saying. But how Mr. Bola telling me? But I will. I mean, we have been saying that for a while. Hello. But like I told you last time, your parliamentary rep and I had some conversation 2 Saturdays ago. And we're planning because it's necessary. She has said to me, Mr. Bola, it's overdue. There's work for you to do and you have to come. So we just need to balance up a few things and make sure that, I've had both doses of my vaccine.
Mr. Stewart?
Yes, Mr. Stewart is who I'm speaking about.
Okay. Then.
And I'll be up for about 3 days. I probably want to come up a Wednesday and be back down maybe Saturday morning or so.
But you don't come up here to talking about going down, man.
But the meals, while I love Carriacou, it's really a relaxing place. Every time I come to Carriacou, I feel rejuvenated. I feel renewed. You know?
Yeah.
Nice. But I have quite a lot mainland to do as well. And I can't stay away for too long.
Without cutting around this time, does it wild meat?
I don't know if seasons are closed now. I have not been updated on that. Seasons are closed now, yeah.
I know I go update and see.
Yeah, the seasons are closed, but there are sometimes people who have things stored in the refrigerator and so.
Yeah, but you don't eat that?
Not a great lover of it again as I used to do before, but I still eat a little bit of manico now and then. Sometimes the guys cook up one and, I passing by. I'd always stop and eat a dumpling and have some manico with them.
Manico, which one you prefer?
Guana and manico? Manico. But they say guana is the healthier one though.
Yes, because you feed on the greens.
Yeah, it's more vegetables, more leaves and so.
Yes.
The manico is actually a scavenger,
Yes.
Manico eats every single thing. Maybe that's why the meat's so sweet. Like a manico and yard for.
I went on one day.
Yes.
We meet a dead cow.
Yes, and you see manico coming out from inside the belly. Yeah. That is manico.
Run out from behind the cow.
They tell you manico.
I shouldn't say that, but...
And yard fall, they are the scavengers of the earth. Mackerel, which is a fish that we like, is the scavenger of the sea. I mean, let's not talk those things because you see some people go say, I don't eat that again. Anyway.
What's talking the truth?
That's what we have learned.
A dog dead, I shouldn't say that one. A dog dead and you're at me. You will see your yard fall it warm.
Yeah, fully another one, but they just clean up. But everything has its purpose, It's part of what is called the food chain. Yes. But we mankind is at the top of the chain. They say it's don't can they skin up chief. It's the bother with that, If I get too manico now and I stew up that or cook that down in some coconut milk and a lot of garlic and other herbs, she eating all her finger.
Joke making.
Joke making what?
I want to make it up, but old people say, wine kill go.
Fat. Oh Lord. Well, a fella sing a song, what don't kill you, go make you stronger. Mr. Mill. So how was your weekend, sir?
It was copacetic.
Copacetic. How is Carriacou doing today? Is it sunny? What kind of weather are you having?
Hot and sunny.
Hot and sunny. And the people doing good?
For who I know, they're doing very good.
They're doing good. You spoke to Miss
Stafford?
You know who I'm talking about? You spoke to her for the morning yet?
No.
Yeah, well, give us your head up.
Mr. Stafford, good morning. Open your eyes or find this. I know we are Kuku and Kalalo today.
Oh, God, are you talking to woman business? Who tell you that what it is? She sending food for you today, then?
Mr. Bolan, I'm a second mother, you know.
Yeah, but ask if she sending you any food today. How you know what she cooking?
Well, I know. Don't ask me how I know, but I know.
Anyone else, Mr. Mills, you want to hit up? I want to hit up all the lovely people of Carriacou and Peter Martinique. I don't want to call names because I don't want nobody in Carriacou get vexed with me. I have a lot of friends in Carriacou.
Well, all I want to do is tell them when you come in, I nothing.
If they go know, I won't tell them. I won't tell them. As soon as we finalize, everybody in Carriacou will know.
Lettuce was growing Grenada?
Lettuce? Yes, lettuce does grow in Grenada too.
I try a few seeds in a box and I find it growing.
You don't find it growing?
I find it growing, yes.
Oh, yeah, you need to give them water and they like a lot of pen manure and things. They will grow fast. You can't leave them for too long. 3 to 4 weeks time, you have to finish eat all that or they start getting bitter.
You have a pond close to West Spain.
Yes.
I might have to carry 2 buckets of water.
Well, I thought you were putting on a pump.
A pump?
Yeah.
Nah.
Not a big farm you have. 2 boxes.
Nah, not a big something.
All right.
No beg me, no.
No. I won't do that, man. I had to bring you stuff. I can beg stuff off for you. I had to bring you some stuff.
So I say, if I give away, why you...
Well, you're giving away, it's good too. The Bible speaks about that. We are religious people. Grenadians are really lovely people, And when I say Grenadians, that includes Carriacou, eh?
Why you go bring...
No, I ain't telling you that on radio. No.
I want people to know why you go bring those.
No, I ain't telling you at all. I want to surprise you.
You only tell me people start to call me and beg me. And I ain't get it, eh?
So I won't let that happen at all. I won't let that happen.
No.
Oh, yes, Mr. Mills. Good to hear you. It's good that you made it through last week. We had to thank God that, we're going through another week. You have gotten your first shot already.
Yes.
The COVID.
Do that?
Yeah?
But the thing making us sleep, eh?
You sleep?
Oh, God. I take the thing 4 o'clock. The nurse come and she give me 4 o'clock. When I do something, I turn and wake up 10 o'clock in the night.
Oh, that was good. You get a good rest.
That's good rest.
That was nice.
Yeah, but I know I don't want to sleep, eh?
Right.
That the only thing make you dizzy.
Yeah.
It makes you drowsy, yeah.
Sleep, yeah, let you sleep. And then, good thing you make you wake up strong.
Great. I want you to encourage all your friends, Mr. Mills, all your friends, even those who are not so much good friends of yours. Tell them now that it's important to take the vaccine to safeguard themselves.
I think they are confident in you and they're listening to you.
Yeah, well, I'm telling them every day, and I want to encourage them because I have a little bit of news again to give today on that.
So all who don't take the vaccine, I already, and I put it into you, please take the vaccine. The only thing you make you sleep a little and you wake up strong and nice. Yes.
That's good.
Very well, Mr. Mills. So here's what we open up the lines for a few more people. We're happy to hear you. You sound healthy and well today. So take care for the rest of the day and we'll speak again during the week.
According to the man and the way I feel I wake up strong, so I feel I can kick a cow.
Don't kick anything, Mr. Mills.
No.
Keep your legs to walk, not to kick.
I hear you.
All right, my brother. Take good care. Good having you again, and all the wonderful people of Carriacou and Peter Martinique. Pleasant Monday morning to you. I want to just hail out my friend out there in Carriacou as well. DC Ranks. As I'm hailing out people, DC Ranks, one of our brethren. And, there's this other gentleman with the trailer truck that carries cane from the field in Bacolet there to up in Conference to the mill. They're making a lot of rum already, Renegade Spirits. So
we have another caller on the line. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Duncan.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, morning to you, sir.
How everything?
We're very well this morning, thank God.
Hey, Mr. Bola and Mr. Duncan. I feel so happy that Grenadian of the decision that the government made. In addition, what was forced upon the government to team back in Grand Lake.
Yes.
And it was right. right? That the government did that because I know people have a lot of problem with the cost of the electricity, right? And seeing that it come back in the hands of Grenadians, I know that the price of electricity will go down. Yes, there have been to say that there will not power shortage, but then we know, and when the price has to go up, it won't just the company just put it up. There is a board that to look over that, and I know this is the right decision that the government made to do it. And I also hear something that concerned to do with the 4% with the public servant that it come to an agreement already.
No, they haven't come to an agreement yet, but another proposal is on the table. So further negotiations may happen.
Well, they will come to an agreement. Okay, this is a government that understands situation. A government that solve problems. They're not a government that create problem. Right? So I want to say to Mr. Duncan, Mr. Bola, and to the Ghanaian people, go out, get a vaccine. I supposed to take my second shot, but because of work, I'm unable to take it because I work in the daytime. So I'm planning to do it on 22nd of this month, which I know definitely last week, I think somewhere last week Monday or last week Tuesday, they said that the people who get this shot in April month could have gone and get it last week. But because of work,
you need to ask your boss to give you a little time up.
I will. That's what I'm planning to do.
Yes.
Yeah.
What I'm planning to do. So I ask the Grenadian people go out and get it. And if you want the country to open up back and you want to go and socialize, we have to go out and get it vaccinated. We cannot want to go out and socialize and we don't take the vaccine. That cannot work. So, Mr. Bola, Ms. Duncan, you all have a wonderful day. I want to talk about the breakfast because the breakfast end up put us again.
We staying hungry in the morning. All right, my brother. Enjoy the week. Have a blessed one, and thank you for your contribution.
You all have a blessed
Yeah, of course, we can't stop talking about vaccines. It's so important. It is our best chance, as the noted, it's our best shot in moving forward. It is the only thing we have at this time that we know can at least help our bodies to fight against the COVID.
I don't want us to jump into vaccination just yet, Mr. Bola, because there are a few things that we need to talk about and announce as well. Discuss maybe is a better word as it relates to vaccination and what's happening, not just here in Grenada, but around the region as well. You know, I don't want to jump into it just yet. What I want to do, though, is to continue my call to NIS. And I know someone in our area is listening, and I really hope that we do get an opportunity, and I will make the call to get an interview. I heard a representative on GIS speaking about now opportunities for young people, I think as young as 21, to get mortgages. To apply for mortgages with the NIS and apply for loans with the NIS, and them having interest rates as low as 4.5%.
Yeah, but the NIS has been offering mortgages for quite a while now.
Yes,
there are many people I know who have built their homes, purchased land.
Right, but now they're opening the doors to the younger generation. I
think younger people always had an opportunity. You had to have a job, I believe, and some level of job security. So they're probably pushing more now for more young people to come forward.
Yeah. We have a call on the line. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
How are you all doing?
We're
very well, very well. Good morning. It's a while I didn't hear that voice.
Yes, yeah. I know. I do more listening at times.
Yes.
Time than,
Right.
But however, a little concern.
Yes.
Mr. Bola, you were saying the carrots and the beet, they goes down in the earth, right?
Well, yes, they're called, we refer to them as underground food, commonly.
Oh. But however, we did some beet and every time we had to be mulling the beet because
no, they just come up after a while.
They always coming up.
Yep.
So I thought maybe there's a reason for that also.
No, as they mature, as they get bigger, they sort of push themselves up.
Okay.
Yeah. Potatoes do it too,
Ah.
Depending again how soft the land preparation might be. Mm-hmm. You see, if you have really tough ground,
right.
They don't come up that much. But if you have grounds that are relatively soft, as they mature, as they get bigger, they start pushing themselves up. I have some potato, and sometimes you're walking and you can actually see them on top. Like the head part of it, you can see them coming up. So it does. Even carrot to a certain extent, but I think the worst in terms of that is the beets. The beets push. They're just pushing themselves up. Just a tiny portion at the bottom stays in the ground. So nothing is wrong. In fact, you're probably having really good beats. That's why they're coming up like that.
Yeah, they just keep showing up themselves.
Yep.
And the next thing is, you have time sometimes when we were small and we do the gardening. And, you tell yourself you dig all the potato and in cleaning, you see they have a little spout just keep coming up too.
That's some potato that you miss, and I said that's sometimes some that you miss while you're digging.
Yes. For that,
because one of the other things, sometimes in digging, when you're doing your first harvest, they call that in potato. There are some that are sometimes deeper than others.
That's true.
So you miss those at times. You take those that are closer to the surface because you see them easier. And as time goes by, those that were really deep down, they too start pushing up a little bit. And eventually they sprout. They make like the vines start coming out on them. Depending on how long since you harvest, some of them sometimes are still good. You can use them when you preparing the land. Sometimes if they stay too long, I had some the other day that stayed a little too long. I gave some to a lady. Look nice. I mean, no blemish on the skin or nothing like that. And she called me and she said, Mr. Buller, they're lovely. They look good. But you know something? When I peeled them, she wanted to make some potato pudding. She said when I peel them and I slice them, they start getting hollow on the inside. Like they start drying up. They stayed a little too long. So sometimes that could happen. It all depends on time, how long they stay in the ground. Sometimes they're still good, other times, well, they pass the stage. They expire, so to speak. So we can use them again. Yes.
And what about you prepare the ground for the yam. How do you plant the potato? You just slip the potato with the slip, right?
Yes.
Do you dig the ground and push it down, or just take the mold because the mold kind of soft and you just kind of just clamp it in the ground there?
Right. So if you have nicely prepared soil that is not too hard, you don't have stones and things, you have your slip, and you can just take your hand and make a little space, a little, thing. You rest the slip down. You do it in a way that about 3 to 4 inches of the slip lie down in a kind of little drain like on the bed, and you cover that and you make sure a portion stays up.
So that stays up, yes.
Yes, so that's the portion that stays on top, that when the roots form, it will start growing on top. Yeah, simple like that. If the ground is a little harder, some people use the cutlass.
Then you'll use a cutlass.
Yes, and you make the little space and you put it in. It's really the same principle, but whether what you use, the kind of tool you use, will be dependent on the texture of the soil.
Yes.
The softer and easier, just the hand. I put a little glove in my hand and, I just clear a little area and I plant.
Okay.
Yes, because I have pretty nice, fairly soft soil where I plant my potatoes.
Yes. Well, you all thanks so much, and Miss Duncan, you, Mr. Bola, you're doing such a fantastic job.
Well, we appreciate it.
Sometimes now, on all your train of thoughts, I don't want to call to this.
I know.
I find all you're flowing so good at
Okay. We're flowing like the river, man.
Exactly, as the Annandale River.
I hear you.
Okay, sir.
So you enjoy the day and give regards to the family, your husband, the children, and keep the farming going. Keep the farming going.
I will. Well, it's only really one that really likes it so much.
Yes.
My husband didn't really like gardening like that, no. But it's only now he.
Well, the encouragement from the wife.
Yeah, because he come from Trinidad.
Right, and into
So all the
construction,
time
I
you
think
need
you
to
said.
mason and stuff like that you used to do.
Yes.
So now, like, trying to come out from work kind of early to help the bigger one, the one that came by you.
Yes.
To do, and I must tell you, some of the beans done busting out already.
Okay, good, man, good.
Yes.
Very well.
So you could see, you gave it to us in good
Oh.
frame of mind and everything. So I guess you have a little touch of something in
A
it.
little touch of love, man. Don't you worry.
I guess so. I didn't really want to say the word, but you did that for me. So thank you so much again.
You're welcome, my dear. Anytime. Have a blessed day now. God be with you. Take good care.
And Miss Duncan.
All right, you too.
Yes, okay, bye-bye.
Great.
Bye.
Very wonderful lady here.
So I want to advise Mr. Bola that the young people call into the NIS and find out, because I've been seeing a few posts on social media and so on, speaking about young people feeling that there's no opportunity for them to really grow in that area, or looking for means and ways in which they can. And sometimes I often say, we throw questions out at social media hoping to get answers in some cases, but as we always say, it's always the intention of the individual, what they're hoping to achieve by the message that they send. I would like to believe that it's information that they're searching for, and ways in which they can help build themselves as young people,
Well, it's rather strange. Well, let me not say strange. Maybe that's not the correct thing. I mean, there are many opportunities for young people. Everyone will not qualify for the opportunities that are available. You just can't have enough. Government can't provide for everybody. But in terms of advancement, you have, through the GDB, there's a window, the soft loan, that government has placed millions. In fact, they have on lend millions of dollars, and we can get that statistics. It's not hard to get. For people wanting to get into their own business, you do a business plan. They'll sit with you. They'll advise you. Give you certain parameters that you should operate with, and so. And people are getting. They have gotten before, and they're still getting. I know people who have benefited from that and continue to benefit up to today. In terms of you wanting to establish your own home, you have the Housing Authority of Grenada, and there are two different tranches where you can borrow from. There's a small, again called soft loan, that where government provides the money through the Housing Authority, where you can get up to 30,000, I think, as a maximum.
Right.
But there are conditionalities to all of that, because I think sometimes when people hear, well, there's money here, or there's money there, there's money available here, they think you just go in and you say, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, and you just get the money. There are conditionalities. It's a loan. It's, the interest rates are very low, in some instances 4% or less. So you have to be employed. They want to do salary deductions, and so not because you're young and they're saying opportunities for young people. You just walk in. Where do you work? No way. What are you doing? Do you have lands? No. You can't just get money like that. And once you can satisfy those conditions, and I have known of cases where people may not have fully satisfied everything.
Yeah, but discretion is used.
Discretions are being used, some little rules are twisted and bent in different little ways to help you and facilitate people. Outside of that $30,000 loan, there's also Housing Authority doing their own mortgage with people, where if you have your land, they will draw plans, they will, get contractors, and they will make sure that they build for you. And you pay them over time. There are cases where Housing Authority itself provides the lands, and they'll build on the land, and all those things. You have the NIS also now offering. You have the GDB outside of the small window of opportunity where you have the soft loan. The GDB itself as a bank they do mortgages for homes and different things as well. And all of these are outside of the commercial banks. You still have the commercial banks and the credit unions. I think the issue is how much are we preparing ourselves as a people, young, middle-aged, or senior? There are a lot of times we recognize that things can happen only when we hear about it, but we have made no plans before that. What are our objectives? When we start working, and that's why sometime before when we spoke, we talk about retirement planning and knowing what you want. Yeah. Knowing what you want as an individual. Yeah. So if your intent as a young person, you've left school, you've left college, you're now job seeking, well, one accept that it is not all that easy to land yourself into a job of great prominence or well paid, even though you are academically endowed because of the whole economic situation. Right. But when you are out there seeking and looking for a job, what is your intention? Why do you want a job? Because you want to go buy fast food? Because you want to buy 6 high heel shoes? Because you want to dress in the latest style, or because my friend has a car and I want to buy one too? What is your priority? Right? Have you sat and made a plan? Did you take a leaf or a notebook and said, listen, if I should find a job in the next month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months, and my job is paying X amount, because you don't know what you will land yourself. Yeah. You may have a figure in mind. You may want a job that pays you 6,000 or 7,000. What if the job that is available now can only pay you 3,000? Did you make a plan for a 3,000 job? Or did you only plan for a 7,000? Did you plan for a 2,000 job? Did you plan for a 10,000 job? Because sometimes you think that what you're capable of owning is 3,000 or 4,000, but you may land yourself a job that pays you 10,000. Yeah. And it takes some of us by shock. So we have never been prepared. We have never stretched our imagination to say, but if I own $10,000 a month, how do I then deal with it? Do I open up a retirement savings account while I have my ordinary savings account? Do I have an investment account where I know I can save $2,000 every month, and when it accumulates to $20,000 or $30,000, I can invest it into something so that it can make money for me? Do I start looking for a piece of land, or immediately go to an institution and say, here's my job letter, I have a 3-year contract, but this piece of land for X amount of thousand, I'd like you to purchase it and you pay? You need to have a plan. Yeah. Because if you don't, then you get left behind. Because when an opportunity comes, there's an old saying, it is better to be prepared for an opportunity that you don't have than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. And I think that is where a lot of our young people unfortunately fall. Opportunities come, but they were not prepared. Because in their mind, they are not stretching. They are so myopic. They are only seeing their views, only seeing just the tip of their nose. They are not long-sighted, so to speak. They are not thinking down the line. They are not drawing parallels. They are not putting pen to paper and look at different dimensions and different scenarios, saying, if it is this, this is how I will plan it out. If it is that, this is how I will plan it out. So whatever it is that comes in your lap, you would have already made a plan, or at least in your mind have some idea where do you go when that happens. But also, Mr. Bola, we have to be ready or prepared to have a plan B and a plan C, just in case our plan A doesn't work out. And that's why you're doing several plans based on different scenarios. Because one may say to you, okay, well, I went and I got educated to become XYZ, but no opportunities presented itself in that area. But did you make a plan to do something in the interim? So sometimes we say, okay, well, I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a nurse, and I go and I study to become that, or I go and I spend my time into MCC because I studied to be an office attendant
attendant or whatever, but I'm not seeing a job in that area coming forward. You know, we do not prepare ourselves and our minds for this kind of road bumps. I feel like sometimes as young people, we believe that what we want must be available in the way that we want it at the time that we want it to become available. And we're not willing to understand that, hey, life is not that easy. If life was that easy, a lot of us would be millionaires already, or living the kind of life that we envisioned for ourselves right off the bat. But it's not about that. It's about being able to accept failures, being able to accept disappointment, because life will throw many disappointments at you. Some of the things that we want to do as young people, we're not going to be able to do it, you know, or we're not going to be able to do it in the time that we want to do it. So I think a lot of that planning has to incorporate a lot of that as well. Understanding that life is not as easy as we would like it to be. It's not as simple as saying, you know what? I want to buy a piece of land and build a house and I'm going in the bank. But in order for me to buy a piece of land and build a house, I have to be working for $2,000. So I'm going to look for a job that pays me $2,000. And we're not looking at saying, okay, well, a job for $2,000 is not readily available to me. So maybe I need to take this one for $1,500 and maybe save a little less than I was planning to save. Or maybe buy a piece of land that is a little smaller than I had first anticipated, and then grow from there. I don't think we're open-minded enough or willing enough to make those kinds of decisions. So you hear people saying, oh, there's no opportunities available for young people. Well, the opportunity that you are looking for currently might not be available, but there are opportunities. We just have to be able to embrace the other opportunities that are available for us, you know. So I think that's something that we need to think about as young people, where we want to see our life and what sacrifices we are willing to make, because nobody was born with the surety that what they want is going to be handed to them.
Sacrifices is one, but I also think, are we prepared to compromise? What compromises are we going to make?
Right.
Because you have a certain plan and you just stick to that, you know. I want to drive a bus, and I wouldn't do anything else but drive a bus, because that's what I want to do. And when I don't get a bus to drive, I just sit down, you know? We have to think beyond that. We have to think beyond that and recognize that we can do several different things if we try.
Absolutely. Yeah. I want to make a quick announcement, Mr. Bola, before I forget, because, you know, time has just run away from us.
Yeah.
We know that the Prime Minister has been doing a series of press conferences with media engagement, face-to-face media engagement since COVID has been limited. So he has been, you know, aspiring to meet with a handful every now and again, so that we can discuss things of national importance, you know. Apparently people like to hear things coming from the Prime Minister himself.
Okay.
So another one of that, another meeting or engagement like that will be held on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So persons tuning in, of course, we always carry these things here live because we believe that it is important to create an avenue for individuals to hear from their representatives, to hear from their Prime Minister, to hear from, you know, other government officials on things that are of national importance, things that, you know, mean something to us. So he will be having an engagement on Wednesday at 9 o'clock. We'll be carrying it here live, but then it'll also be on GIS Channel 22.
From 9, you said?
From 9.
On
9 o'clock.
Okay.
It'll be on the Facebook page, YouTube, online media platforms, and of course the different radio and television stations that do choose to carry that as well. So please put that to paper. Prime Minister will be having another engagement on Wednesday as well. Mr. Bola, but something good is happening. And this is where we segue into vaccination, because we want to talk a little bit about what's happening as it relates to Grenada, but also other places in the region when it's when we speak about vaccination. Yesterday, was it yesterday or Saturday? One of them days, or maybe Friday. I don't know. I heard the GFA speaking about them hosting a series of games, football games, that would allow for fully vaccinated individuals to come to the national stadium.
To view?
Yes, and view.
Okay.
And that is a great achievement. And then we have cricket coming up.
Yeah.
So I think those will be an opportunity for us to see, because you had to try it out first, see how it works, see what happens, before you can make a full segue into nightlife and entertainment. I know there are individuals who are willing to host fully vaccinated functions, but we had to try it somewhere first. We had to do it in a more controlled setting first, to see how it works before we can segue into the introduction of more nightlife. And of course, as we see more and more individuals are going out there to get vaccinated, our numbers, I believe, as it stands, from the 4th of June. When was the 4th of June? Friday. As it stands, we're in the ballpark of 18,000 individuals would have taken their first dose. And we have 9,000.
20,000 as yet. I thought we were 20,000 by now.
Yeah, 9,132 would have taken their
We're still
second.
at the lowest in the
Oh,
region.
of course. I was speaking to my friend in Barbados. Barbados is currently at 82,000 persons have already administered their first dose, and 61,000 people
their second dose.
So they are well on their way to looking at things, and they have cases. They have positive cases in their vicinity. But the more people that get vaccinated, it means for them that there will be less of a chance, of those who are unvaccinated contracting COVID and dying, or getting really sick to the point where the healthcare system is overwhelmed by cases, So they are kind of a model, of where we would like to be. If we get them numbers up there, so all now, so we thinking about Carnival in August.
But that's an interesting thing that you bring up, and I don't want us to get into that at all. Because that gives an impression that there may not be, and I don't want anyone to see that we have said so when you say we're thinking Carnival in August. It's interesting, because I was speaking yesterday afternoon. I had a brief conversation with a friend of mine, someone that is of some level of academic intelligence. I think we have a call. Let's take it and then come back.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm fine.
All right, you're live on Hard Talk.
Okay, tell you what, first of all, let me apologize to you all, because the last time I was speaking to you all, the phone cut off.
Oh.
This is because I have limited free calls,
Okay.
That happens. And I know you're always doing a very good job. I'm very impressed, because last time I was speaking to you was the time of the uprising, the militant teachers union, the paramilitary, and all them marching up and down the country.
Right.
But now I'm happy to see that everything seems to be settled, to be stabilized once more.
Yeah.
Like my friend was asking me, are they left-wing fundamentalists? They must be mental in truth. I say, oh no, not so far. Don't go that way. But they are heading in that direction. But nonetheless, we are very happy to see that things is back on the right track.
Well, we are not totally there yet. We are not totally there yet, because they have not yet actually finalized on what exactly would happen. But the unions had brought a new proposal to government, which government is at the moment examining and looking at. And there's a strong feeling from among the populace that sooner than later they will come to some arrangement, and we're very hopeful for that.
Well, they will have
You there? Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening, yeah.
Yeah. Now, I made my point. I'm saying we're not totally out of the woods yet, but things have settled quite a bit. Yeah.
Oh, you're still in the woods a bit.
Yeah, we're still there because there's not yet a final agreement. And until you have a final agreement and all sides agree, then we can say, okay, totally. Things are over now as it relates to the upheavals and the marching and so on. We want that to be over. We want to be as peaceful and friendly as possible.
Well, yeah, it is in the interest of the whole country.
Yes.
Not only for the government, but for themselves.
Yes.
Yep.
Because, the children in the future will hold them to account.
Yes. Yes.
Because the children will have so much.
Yes.
Right now, I think the only children, the school children of Grenada, much more than the 4% they are demanding.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
So, what I'm saying, Mr. Bola, I always look at Grenada, I look at what's going on, I look at different issues, different problems, And our heart up here goes out to the people of the country of Grenada, Grenada government is limited, the hands are tied, economic goal, economic situation right now is not in favor of any government.
Yeah.
So some of them couldn't run their own household. But the government has to run a whole country, which consists of thousands of households. It's difficult,
Yes, it is.
Your own household. Imagine that you cannot run your own household, but the government has to run thousands of households and make decisions day to day. So we are happy. I'm very happy to see that things have progressed. Because I think that there was like what on the volcano as there was the opinions and things, I was
not so bad, man. What?
It is. Because it affected many people.
Yes.
You see what's going on in St. Vincent will affect the people in red zone and
yes, orange zone and yellow zone and all kind of thing, yes.
So I glad like these people sometimes they leave no stone unturned. They're only waiting for the next opportunity, Some people are just opportunists.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Some want money, some want fame, some want power, some want to just destroy the government for no reason.
Yeah.
You see? But I always say to myself, whenever Dr. Keith Mitchell step down, we don't want him to step down, but whenever he do step down, I think the NNP party wouldn't last much longer, I'm happy to know that he's going for another term, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think in that NNP party there are people that take on recently from the other side, in NDC came on to the NNP party, right? I don't question their motives, but to me, I think one day, I don't know, but I think something will happen there. There is something there's some waiting to things is come right now,
Yeah.
But I hope everything will be nice.
Well, of course, we have to always hope for the best, but prepare ourselves just in case the worst comes. That's the best we can do.
But hope for the best.
Yeah, we're hoping. We pray and hope that only best and good things will come to us. But we also have to condition our minds to say, if the worst comes, let's prepare ourselves to deal with it. That's, I think, how we have to move forward and how we have to face it.
Mr. Boda, I always know that you are an humble man.
I try my best. I
think you speak from the heart. You know what I mean?
That's how I speak.
And use a human face to the NNP party.
Well, thank you, sir.
Oh, it's true. And also your co-host, Miss Duncan.
Miss Duncan.
She's very fantastic. She's reliable.
Yes.
She's consistent. She's efficient.
Yes.
Thank you.
So all the good accolades, I give it to you all.
Well, we appreciate very, very much.
Thank you very much.
One thing I would like to know is about the development going on in St. David in the suggest.
The hotel?
Yeah,
the Sixth Sense. What I can tell you, without having an update in very recent times, I know work is ongoing. Construction has started. But now that you raise it, we must try to get an update to know what has been happening in the recent weeks or so. But construction was ongoing. Things were happening, so we can probably get an update as to exactly where they are, to say if it's 30%, 40%, or what of the work is done so far. But the developer is very committed to having that hotel completed. They are getting good reviews from outside, and they believe that they can do good business once they complete. And let's get some update, and we can probably share it on air, because it's something that people more than yourself may want to know about. But the work is ongoing. That much I know, but I can't tell you how far they are now.
Right.
Okay, excellent.
Yes.
Because I think in like Kimpton, Kawana Bay, it's been going on for the past 3-4 years now. Nothing. When are they going to open?
They had completed the main building already. What was once the Flamboyant Hotel, which is what they bought over, and they had redone it, did addition, did a lot of changes. That is completed, but what I think happened is that to the other side of the road, they started a second phase, which they bought another piece of land and they're doing another massive development, and that is the one that is not yet complete. I can't tell you when they're opening. Maybe that again we'll seek to know. But there's work is actively happening on the second phase, which is a new building.
Okay. And it's at the same time, is all the hotels open right now?
No. All are not. Sandals has recently opened sometime towards the end of last month. The protocols, they have to do certain things. Royalton, I believe they're planning towards the end of this month, towards the end of June, to open. We have the Calabash, which during the downtime, I know they were doing some little renovations and so I don't know where they are yet in terms of reopening. And a couple of others, but some of them are taking it slow. They're hoping for the season to start building up. Some of the flights are planning to come more regular. We used to have like one flight. American was one flight a week. Now they're doing 2. I think JetBlue have increased again. They're doing 2 or 3 per week. And so things are building up slowly. It's a slow build up. So I guess as more people start coming in, more of the hotels will open up the doors.
That's nice. Well, it seems that I'm saying you open up to American Airlines to JetBlue. What about BA, the world famous airline?
No. They fly. I'm saying that some of them used to do 1 flight per week. Now they have doubled because more people are starting to travel. So BA and them, they do come from England. They used to have BA and Condo, and there was another one, and then Air Canada and so. I don't want to say yes or no. I'm not sure what is happening with British Airways. I don't think they have restarted yet, no. But it was them who closed on. I remember a lot of the airlines stopped flying because they were having a lot of issues, not much passengers. It just didn't make economic sense to them. So it's not just the country. I mean, if there's a real serious outbreak in a country, Grenada may say, well, look, we close our borders to that country. But at the moment, England and those places, while there are positive cases, they're not really outrageous. So I think as soon as BA and them are ready, and they say they're ready to start flying again, they will be accepted. The protocols are in place, yes.
Okay. So you always keep me abreast of
the situation and what. We'll try to seek some information on that hotel development in St. David's, and as soon as we have it before the end of the week, we'll announce it. So once you're listening, you would hear.
Because I always believe everything we say, Mr. Doyle, because I think it's genuine and sincere.
Well, we want to be very factual, and we always say that on the program, if we have said something that someone believes is not totally true, or they have more facts than we give, because we say we're not the repository of all facts and knowledge. As much as we get, we give. But there are some things we don't know, we may never hear, or we don't have all of the facts. And you know it or you hear it and you think, we open up, we say, call, say to us, look, we ain't think that you are totally correct with that, this is what I know and this is where my information is coming from. And we are human beings, we're not always perfect. If we make a mistake, we are ready, once we can prove that we are wrong, to say sorry and to do the correct thing. So we are just trying to do the very best. We want to be reliable. We want to be factual. We want to be truthful. When you hear something from us, as our foreparents used to say, it must be tobacco well pressed.
Yes.
All right,
so I know you are very hardworking. You work the land. You're a good farmer. You know.
Well, I do a bit of everything. I just try.
You're a very good man.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you, sir.
I could never forget the moment I met you in Brandon.
Yes.
With your position video from Montserrat.
Yes.
And I asked, can I have a video? You are the only one who said, I don't mind. You were so humble.
Yes.
You were with me. I don't mind. But the other people is just there.
Yeah. Wow, did we lose him?
I just hear. So I heard it,
yeah. Apparently so.
We did.
Well, we're sorry about that.
Yeah. But Mr. Bola, as we were saying, when it comes to vaccination around the region, I want to bring into the light something that came out of St. Vincent, I think Friday. Something that came out on Friday, where they indicated that 27% of the cases that they had were of children 18 years and younger. 18 years and younger. And it's a very troubling situation, of course, because it means that, well, in order for them to get it, they have to have contact, of course.
Yes.
And currently, they are still grappling with cases, They have had, I believe, yesterday alone, they had 8 new cases, and they have informed that those cases are coming out of evacuees from the different shelters, and then you also have persons that are in school areas and so on. We have a call on the line. Hello, good morning. Hi, caller, good morning. No, seems like we lost that call as well. Yes.
Yeah, but we started, the news came out of India first, where they started seeing in some province children less than a year from babies up started coming down. There was a particular province where there was about 10,000 children that came down with it.
In Brazil as well.
Yeah. So the new strains, they have been saying that the new strains that we're seeing are actively attacking the younger population now, not just the seniors. Yeah. But thankfully, the WHO has just approved, I think it's Sinovac, a Chinese...
Sinopharm.
No, it's not Sinopharm.
Not Sinopharm?
No.
Another one?
China has several different kinds of vaccine. I think it's Sinovac. It's something to that effect. But it's a Chinese vaccine that WHO has just approved for children, I think, from 3 years upwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hello, good morning.
Are we having some problems with phone?
How are you all doing?
Hi, Miss Kami, good morning. Very, very well, thank you.
Well, mine was good too. I see all my little corn and things that plant bust up.
They bust up, they get good water, boy. God bless you.
Yes.
God bless you.
You know something that I called to say this morning to Brother Bola?
Tell us.
And I know Canadians are listening to the program Hard Talk. People don't thief from poor people.
Yes.
I want the public to know that they don't thief from poor people. 12 bags of cement they removed from my friend's home.
Oh, no.
Wow.
The cement was dropped to go along in the yard. And they take 12 bags of cement from that a young guy that wanted to do a walk in the Molyneux area. It is not nice.
Not nice.
To hurt poor people and a young man. He could have sit on the block. You understand?
Yes.
He could have do other things. And they go with the boy cement. So I'm appealing to the person. Anybody that comes to buy cement, don't buy it from these people. And they have that cement, bring it back. Because they're going to get hard of the cement.
Yeah.
Because the hands that take that 12 bag of cement, bring back the cement. for me, please, appealing to them again. Bring back that cement. Okay?
Yes.
And I know they're listening. Because I tell them on Shaggy this morning, and I'm saying it and I talk, bring back the young man cement. Young guy that is working hard. And it's not nice.
Not nice
In
at
the
all.
Molyneux area, they
Not
take
nice.
that cement and they go with it. They know who they is. Have a blessed day, sir.
Thank you, Miss Camille.
Coconut oil.
Okay.
Local coconut oil, Miss Duncan.
Local
Right.
coconut
You
oil.
know that one coconut oil?
Yes.
You could come by Miss Camille and get some coconut oil.
Check, Miss
All right.
Camille.
Local
Good.
made,
Good.
$40 a bottle.
$40 a bottle. That's a good
Yes,
price for the way coconut oil is selling these days.
Local.
Yes.
That come from River Sally.
Yes.
Yeah, and old people that making it, so you know the old people make things
Well done.
well done.
Yeah.
Well
You
done.
use it for your skin to cream your skin.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Miss
bye-bye.
Camille. Enjoy the rest of your day.
No, we
Yeah.
come to see the doctors and the nurses here.
Yes.
Wonderful people.
Good.
And I get me 2 injections, eh?
Okay,
Yes,
well,
sir.
that's good. We're happy for you.
I could go to Europe now.
Yes, Dad.
And I could go to the park.
And you're going to watch your cricket when Take good care, Miss Camille. Have a boat shot. So, you know, it's and before we diverted into those other things, you know, it's really bad that people still do that, and it's unfortunate. And as she has said, that person who stole the cement, if you stole it to resell it or what, it's not too late to reconsider, you know. It's a young man trying to do whatever to help himself. You should try to help yourself too and help lift him up. And that's one of the things we don't do very much as a people, as a culture. We don't help lift each other up. We see a young brother, a young sister, we see someone trying to elevate themselves, doing things to help themselves, working really hard, and instead of we encourage them, we bore holes into all of their plans. We keep telling them things cannot happen. We show them all the bad sides of everything they try to do. We cut behind their back, we steal what they're trying to put together, rather than put hand with them and help them to elevate themselves. And when they get to the top of the ladder, they can turn around and help us, give us a hand up to climb the ladder as well. We need to do better than that. Please, let's try and help each other rather than tear each other apart and bring each other down. And having said that, we were talking before we got sidetracked. We were talking about the children.
Yes.
It is believed that the new waves that we are seeing, you know, the mutation that is taking place is going to be attacking the younger generation.
It's spread quickly
and
amongst
spreading
them.
quickly among them. It's much more prevalent. It's attacking much more vicious. You know,
the report even spoke of a young lady in St. Vincent developing encephalitis as a result of the COVID infection. And we've had multiple reports of children all over the world who have developed multiple inflammatory syndrome as a result of contracting COVID. You know, and these are all things that are deadly diseases, that are deadly conditions as well, that you really don't want to risk getting COVID and hope that you're going to survive, you know. So we're really playing a kind of game.
Russian roulette, as you would say.
Roulette. We're really
we're hoping that there's no bullet in
the gun.
In the gun, or well, not really in the gun. There is a bullet, but you're hoping that when you pull the trigger, the bullet is not in the chamber.
It's not in the chamber.
Yeah,
True.
It's a very risky game, you know. And as I was saying very earlier on, I was talking to a young person yesterday, reasonably young adult, I would say, not a teenager by any means. And the person is of advanced academic brilliance, and they said to me, "Oh no, there is no good reason for me to take the vaccine." I said, "But when you do it, what you're doing is actually helping your system to get stronger and to be able, just in case that COVID done in the world already. We ain't having no more cases, you know."
Well, they're probably living in an alternate world.
So, it just tells you sometimes how some of us have that mindset that nothing would happen to us. And I hope that nothing does, really and truly, for the sake and the goodness of all of us. But we just cannot live our life just on hopes.
Yeah,
you know,
can't take that risk.
There are more things that we have to consider than just having the hope that something will not happen. And talking about new developments, and so China also have developed a vaccine that, and it is already in use, that you don't have to be injected with.
Yeah, a pill.
Nope.
It's not a pill?
Nope. It's an inhaler.
Oh, wow, that's a new one again.
You just inhale.
That's a new one again.
And that's it. So there are a lot of work happening.
Right.
There are a lot of things happening.
And these things are happening so quickly because a lot of monies is being invested in it.
A lot of monies and a lot of people are spending a tremendous amount of time and exerting a lot of energy day and night, hoping that they can find some formative cure, but if not cure, something that at least can delay the negative impact that the COVID virus can have.
You know, the WHO reported recently that there are 2 flu viruses that would have most likely gone extinct due to COVID, due to the interaction between people, 2 strains of the flu virus that would have gone extinct. And that is what we are hoping would happen with COVID. Now, as we know, once there isn't a host that it can mutate in, or a series of hosts that continue to spread and get stronger and mutate in, then eventually the virus in itself will die out. And that is what the hope is by people getting vaccinated and also limiting that close contact between individuals. That is what you hope to achieve. So you hope that over time, with these measures put in place, that the virus in itself will die out. It get weaker because, of course, once the virus enters a vaccinated person, it doesn't have the ability to mutate or to get stronger.
Yeah.
So even if you pass it on to somebody else that is vaccinated, the only thing it can do from there is get weaker and weaker and weaker and eventually die out. So that is a hope, or that is what we hope to achieve by getting people vaccinated. I recently read as well this morning, actually, that the New Delhi strain is not only a concern now in India, but in the UK now as well.
Yes, that's spreading. They're seeing it.
So,
and the UK has a strain of its own.
And the UK has a strain of its own. So now we have even more things to worry about, you know? What happens when that strain and an next strain meet up and they create a strain of their own?
Two train meeting together is serious accident.
Exactly. So, you know, we have a lot of things to think about and a lot of things to consider as it relates to COVID-19 and what our decisions are, our own personal choices are when it comes to whether we get vaccinated or not, whether we follow the protocols or not, how serious we take COVID-19, if we are willing to play Russian roulette with not just our own lives but the lives of the people around us. These are all things that we have to consider as well when we make a decision.
Well, I just hope and pray that more of us will make a decision on the side of caution, a correct decision, a decision that will benefit not just you as an individual, but as you have correctly said, family, friends, community, and country at large.
Yeah.
And I can understand the misgivings that some people have, the concerns, the questions they still want to ask. By all means, seek clarity, ask questions, go to people in the medical profession, get their take, listen to what they have to say. Let them, although there are some people in the medical profession that are just as negative in their thoughts about vaccine,
right,
like some others. There's some nurses, as we understand, and some medical doctors and other health professionals that are saying to people that the vaccine is no good, don't take it. But what else can they offer you? And why isn't it good?
Yeah.
This, there's a lot of crap about it's a magnet and it's the mark of the beast. That's what the religious people say.
Oh,
and several different stories you hear going around, and you will die in 3 years and what have you. I mean, let us be more considerate. This is a new time. It's a different time. We have never had COVID before. We have never had this virus around us. Well, not the COVID virus, but this particular strain before.
Yeah.
Let us really examine this thing properly and let us give people the right kind of information, the best kind of encouragement, because at least what we want to do is save lives and to get people back into doing what they need to do for their own livelihood, for their own upkeep, for taking care of themselves and their family. Government cannot put bread on table for everybody. The government cannot find a job for everyone. But there are a lot of people who have been fending for themselves, but due to the COVID-19 pandemic, they have not been able to do as well, or some of them have not been able to do anything at all.
Yeah.
For these people and for others, our best chance of reviving our country, of getting back to some semblance of normalcy, of being able to socialize and to go out and to interact one with another again is if we get vaccinated.
Yeah.
That's our only opportunity and chance now. I don't know down the line, 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, if something different would come up, if you would have, as you say, a pill, or if you would have outside of the inhaler, something else that you can do, maybe a soap that you could wash yourself with and protect. I don't know, but innovations are coming. Technology is being utilized in every which way to help us. And the advancement in medicine and so is there to help us. But as we close and we come down to the end, because, it's a 1:45 now, and we have to take in the national report. Have you ever heard, or do you know now who is the richest man in the world? At one time, I think Bill Gates was
not Bezos.
ranking.
Somebody Bezos.
I don't know, but we must look that up.
I think it's a guy. It's a guy from Amazon. Is it?
I am not sure who. At one time, it was somebody in the Middle East, but I know Mr. Bill Gates has about 96 billion.
But I didn't think he up there still. Yeah, yes. Jeff Bezos.
Yes.
Yeah, he's worth 177 billion.
Yes.
And he's followed by Elon Musk. Elon Musk is that Tesla, the owner and CEO of Tesla.
Yeah. So Gates fall way down the line now.
Yeah, Gates is number 4 at 124 billion.
Yeah. But what's interesting, I just want to leave with us as we close. Someone once said, it's this guy, his name just meets me now. He says, if we do not find ways to accumulate money even while we sleep, we'd have to work for it until the day we die. Very telling.
Very telling. If we do not find ways to accumulate monies while we sleep,
even while we sleep,
we would have to work for it while we die.
Until the day we die. The day we die.
Wow.
But you have Mr. Bill Gates, while he ranked 4th in the world in terms of the richest men. Do you know, or are you aware, that every second of every day that man makes $137 per second?
Wow.
Which means that for every hour that passes, he makes $8,220. He doesn't have to move a pin, a nail, a bucket, or a chair. Right? For every day, he makes $197,280 per day. You know what is that per week? $1,380,960 in a week.
Wow.
I can't make that in 10 years.
I thought they say you have it already.
Well, that's what they say. But they ain't giving it to me. They're only saying it. So imagine what that works out a year. $71,809,920. And I'm saying he makes that money without even moving a pin.
Yeah.
This is what is called wealth creation, not riches. There's a difference.
Yeah.
A rich man and a wealthy man. Bill Gates is a wealthy man. I hope that we can be healthy enough by taking our vaccine to become as wealthy as Bill Gates one day. If you have no health, you'll have no wealth. My friends, it was a pleasure being with you today. We hope that we can meet again. Hopefully tomorrow, not sure. I think
tomorrow's the national report.
Tomorrow.
Names of the national report, Lord.
But there
hopefully
should be, and I think there should be a continuation of the Senate sitting tomorrow as well. So if we're not on air, it's because we'll be carrying one or both of those things live if they both go through.
Right.
But we are grateful for those of you who have been able to call, who have joined us, who have sent in your messages, who have asked questions. We do hope that you will continue to enjoy the rest of Monday. May the good Lord be with you, continue to bless and keep you. Stay safe, stay secure, stay responsible, as Ms. Duncan would say, as we break to bring in the national report.
All right, guys, it's been a pleasure being here with you. As we say here every day, in whatever you say and whatever you do, be safe, be secure, be responsible. Have a wonderful day, guys, and stay tuned for the national report.
Prime Minister and Cabinet colleagues hold historic engagement with Grenada workers to chart the way forward. We'll have the details to this story and more in the national report. Welcome back. With the details to the news for Friday, June 4th, 2021, I am Sherry Ann Noel. A historic engagement this week as Prime Minister Dr. the Right Honorable Keith Mitchell, Energy Minister Honorable Gregory Boeing, and Public Utilities Minister Senator the Honorable Nolan Cox met with workers of the Grenada Electricity Services Limited Grenlec. Dr. Mitchell acknowledged the historic nature of Wednesday's meeting in his remarks, noting that in his 36 years of involvement in politics, this is the first occasion that such a meeting has taken place, and he thanked the company's management for arranging it. The Prime Minister commended the workers for their stellar service over the years.
Historically, you have demonstrated to be some of the most productive workers of this country. And I'm not talking about just today. I'm not talking about today, colleagues. I'm talking for years. From 1984, when I was the minister responsible for public utilities. Your workers, those who have gone before you, some of you, I don't believe many of you were there then, who are here now. But your success was laid also on the foundation of those before you, and you continued with that operation. And I think it's important to record this, because sometimes we forget those who serve us well.
Dr. Mitchell referenced the tremendous success of the rural electrification program, which was undertaken prior to the privatization of the company and which resulted in a dramatic increase in the number of households which had access to electricity. Energy Minister Honorable Gregory Boeing, who previously held the portfolio of public utilities and was a former general manager of Grenlec, was also high in praise for the workers at the electricity company. He made reference to the new energy environment, which places more emphasis on renewable energy.
We must prepare ourselves. And not only will we not get financing, we will be ostracized. Any country that does not go along the line, you will not have the resources of the World Bank and even the local banks. So we must think ahead and always be there to ensure that we serve our nation, that we build our economies.
Senator Nolan Cox also addressed the workers, saying the company continues to play a critical role in the history and development of Grenada.
As we prepare for this new journey ahead, there will always be incidents of challenges that may arise, and that would require us all to go beyond the call of duty to ensure that the desired results of the company are achieved. Hence, I encourage and challenge each of us to commit to a strong and productive working relationship as we move forward.
Moving along, former Presentation Brothers College student Leonille Mark was among Caribbean students recognized for outstanding performance in the 2020 CSEX examinations during the CXC's first ever virtual regional award ceremony. Mark was also one of the top performers when he wrote the CPE exams. We get more in this report from Annette Moore.
Awards for the most outstanding performance in the CCSLC examinations were introduced in 2016. Each year, the Caribbean Examinations Council presents awards to the most outstanding male and female candidates in the examinations. CXC offers our congratulations to this year's most outstanding awardees, and we encourage you to keep striving for excellence and shining a positive spotlight on your country.
Lionel Mark, a former student of the St. Andrews RC School, became one of the nation's top CPA performers in 2015 when he tied for first position with Darrell Street of Beacon Jr. Mark, who is now a past student of the Presentation Brothers College and current student of the T.A. Marichaud Community College, was awarded by CXC on Thursday for being the top male performer in the July-August 2020 Caribbean Certificate of Secondary Level Competence (CCSLC) examinations. CCSLC is the 3-year lower secondary education component of the CXC education program. Students make a transition from primary school to the CCSLC program. The CCSLC comprises both academic and vocational education components. The academic part is CSEC. After completion of the CCSLC program, students make a transition to either the Caribbean Vocational Qualification or CVQ or CSEC program.
For the male student, Leonel Mark of Presentation Brothers College in Grenada won the award for the most outstanding performance by a male student in the Caribbean Certificate of Secondary Level Competence CCSLC examination. He achieved grades of Master in English and Mathematics and Grade 1 in CSEC Agricultural Science, Information Technology, and Principles of Business.
Mark attained 15 CSEC subjects in the 2020 examinations. For the National Report, I'm Annette Moore.
Thank you, Annette. Jimmy Braveboy, the Grenadian national who failed to enter the country at a prescribed port of entry, made his first court appearance today, Friday, June 4th, at the St. George's Magistrates Court. He was granted bail in the amount of $20,000 with one surety and will appear at the Carriacou Magistrates Court on June 23, 2021. Braveboy, who resides in neighboring Trinidad, entered the island of Petit Martinique via a fishing vessel, then later traveled on the Osprey lines to mainland Grenada, where he also failed to adhere to quarantine procedures on entry into the country. This is a National Report. More news after the break. Welcome back. Farmers in Carriacou stand to benefit from the government's plough service for the upcoming planting season. Each year, through the Ministry of Agriculture, government accepts and approves requests for farmers to have their lands ploughed at a minimal cost. Despite a later than usual start this year, the Agriculture Division in the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs and Local Government says it will deliver timely service to the farming community. Senior Agricultural Officer Benson Patrice says the division is happy to announce the resumption of its plough service and is confident that all demands will be met.
This year, we have a private tractor also doing ploughing. So a lot of the lands, a good number of lots were already ploughed. So we would have a lot remaining, yes, but it wouldn't be too much for us. So we'll still have sufficient time to plough those that are remaining. But in terms of the timing, I believe the timing is still good enough. We expect a later than usual season maybe not as long as last season. And being that the case, plowing now or 1 month before the onset of the rains will give farmers sufficient time to have the lands broken down, the lands that we plow broken down sufficiently so that they can actually plant.
Patrice advised against the practice of continuous plowing. This, he said, can affect the soil, the crops, and the farmer's profit.
It's not really a good practice to plow every year. Now, I would really advise against it because, well, I notice a number of people do it year after year, but it's not really the best thing to do. By doing so, you create in the soil what we call a hard pan that will create problems for soil aeration, waterlogging situations can occur, soil texture and structure could be affected because of the hard pan situation. Eventually you would have lower yields, so we don't want that to happen. So we encourage people as much as possible, don't plow every year. If they can skip, alternate it year by year, then that might be a better practice.
The division also has a plow tractor stationed in Petit Martinique, which according to the senior agricultural officer is a step in the right direction in encouraging an increase in crop production there. And finally in the news, Tamika Gilbert, volunteer and founder of the Art of Giving, TAG, has been recognized by Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth II with the Commonwealth Points of Light Award. Gilbert is being honored for her voluntary service helping families affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. TAG, a charitable foundation founded in April 2020 following the coronavirus outbreak, to encourage people to donate care and relief items to help vulnerable members of society, in particular young women and girls, providing items such as female hygiene products. So far, over 200 families have been supported. The Commonwealth Points of Light Awards celebrate inspirational acts of volunteerism across the Commonwealth and help inspire others to make their own contribution to tackling some of the greatest social challenges of our time. Gilbert told GIS her award serves as an encouragement to continue doing everything possible to improve the lives of others.
It is really an honor for me to receive such an award. I guess good deeds really don't go unnoticed. However, I really can't take all the credit by myself, as there have been quite a bit of people who have supported the work that the TAG Foundation has been doing for the past year. The donors, the volunteers, even the people that just given their well wishes. This is really an encouragement for me to continue doing this good work and to continue being a point of light here in Grenada.
Resident British Commissioner to Grenada, Wendy Freeman, said the COVID-19 pandemic has created unique challenges globally that we all continue to navigate daily. However, the experiences of many families have been quite extreme, as many have lost jobs. With the support of TAG, some of these families have been able to support their basic needs and keep hope alive. Additionally, the support for girls is equally noteworthy and must be commended. Now for a recap of the top story. Prime Minister and Cabinet colleagues hold historic engagement with Grenada workers to chart the way forward. And with this, we come to the end of the National Report for Friday, June 4th, 2021. On behalf of the entire news and production team, I am Sharian Noel, thanking you for viewing.